Motorsports Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com, the 2015 Bash for Cash, Bull Lockwood Motorsports, and the 2015 Keystone National.com, and Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, Bash for Cash in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. And now your host.
Nothing against you guys. Well, man, that's one of the best place. And as you can hear the roar of like me and Tony talked about it. Look, trying to bring you a little bit of a post-race brief on Saturday. At least one more heat still remaining to come onto the track. Hey, you're there. Eastern time. Go out there. Slide up my Felicia. Bringing me here at the table. You had a chance to take a look at a lot of the stuff that was going on. Out there on the track, it was a good show. Right now, the story of the night, hands down, is the performance of Jesse Kunkel,
who was able to really put on a heck of a show in his qualifying heat, which was early in the evening, really in the old iron heat. Stood the nose up in a very short period of time. Likewise, he also annihilated the back end of the Petro wagon. Petro able to qualify as far.
Pretty good. 80s heats were a little slow, but 70s heats are definitely getting it done. Jesse Kunkel, he come out kind of slow in the heat, and I was like, look, he's actually driving pretty good. And then he just kind of lost it and did what he normally does, and that's make junk.
He went back into full-on Jesse Kunkel mode and did just that.
It was awesome.
Petro able to qualify, puts himself in a pretty good spot. Likewise, he has a lot of damage done to the back of that wagon.
Yes, front looks good, though, but he definitely took some damage to the back.
That's mission accomplished. The Bronze able to perform pretty strong in their outing, or have they not run yet?
No, one of them
did
run, 131. And he actually looks damn good for the feature. So that was actually the best heat of the night. They were just non-stop the whole time. It was pretty good heat.
80s heats were a little bit tame, overall, but at the same time, the certainly making up for it were the old iron heats.
Yes, most definitely.
So struggling a little bit, trying to get enough light so that we can pull off our recap show. We're going to be doing another live show tomorrow. Thanks a lot to Big Rock for hanging out with us all day and letting us go from what's left of their setup since they've all packed up. How was sales for you, Mike?
Pretty good. Yeah, we did good. Last year we did real good. This year we did real good. I'd like to thank everybody that's bought something, and I mean, we appreciate it a lot.
How's Bash for Cash been for you overall so far? I mean, you picking up any tips over there walking through the pit area?
Yeah, always, every year. I mean, it's just last year you say, how could they do it any different or do it any better? And then you come walk around for an hour in the pits this year, and it's like, well, I guess that's how they could do it better. It's constantly evolving in this sport. I mean, just every year it's something bigger, something better.
That recurring theme, a number of people that we talked to today said that echoed that sentiment in terms of the show continuing to grow and hitting a new level and hitting another level and then hitting another new level. We were able to see a lot of that in some of the technology that was unveiled with the parts and pieces. You're delving into some of the more elaborate pieces and in bolt-on parts, and then we saw Ski unveiling some remarkable technology down there.
Oh man, it's crazy what them guys are coming out with. I mean, it's like last year, a couple of my buddies went and bought everything that was top of the line, and now it's like, we got to sell everything.
Now it's not.
Go see Ski, you know. I mean, them guys, stuff they're coming out with is definitely top of the line.
Hung out quite a bit with Tony Brellinger, who is a contributor to Derby Inc. magazine, and also with, if I can find the delete button here. And Nate Middendorf, which was nice to meet those guys. Tony being from Illinois and Nate from being up in Minnesota. Those guys trading around some notes, had a chance to joke around with those guys, and also saw Chris Quenzler, a guy that you're probably plenty familiar with.
Oh yeah,
over there hanging out at the Frank. I can't remember the guy's name. Frank's booth over there. And those guys taking in the extravaganza, as it were, enjoying their evening since most of the pressure's off. Vendors Row just about closed now. It's a ghost town compared to what it was here a matter of hours ago.
Yeah, there are so many people here. We were just up in the stands looking out, and just every bench and every seat's filled up, and people sitting down around the track. I mean, there are a lot of people here.
Why don't you slide in a little bit so everybody at home can see it? We're still having trouble getting you to square up a little bit. Why don't you come right on over, and we'll do that. So, in terms of where you're coming from, any surprises through the course of qualifying thus far?
No, not really. I mean, kind of.
It would appear, I think it's fair to say at this point, that the heats were somewhat of a formality.
Yes.
That we pretty much had, we pretty much knew who was going to be in the feature, and I think we've only got one qualifying event left to go for the guys trying to punch their ticket into tomorrow's money rounds for the old iron and the 80s class. You can hear the cars again, the motors roaring in the background as they work through that. That final couple qualifying heats. At what point are you gonna bite the bullet and build another car for out here?
I'm not sure. There are so many good shows up around home, and just too many to choose. I mean, we were just talking about that 10 minutes ago, that it's hard for promoters at these little local fairs. I think this year, especially with so many good shows with Bo Lockwood and all them guys. I mean, it's just hard to pick and choose where you want to go and how many cars can you build in 1 year. And
well, Reg Bono made the trip in, defying the odds after his wheel passed his truck on the way here. He runs 30 shows a year.
That's crazy.
Which is absurd, isn't it?
It is absurd. And we were talking, he stopped over today and talked for a few minutes. And, I mean, I hit 20 there a couple years, but that's absurd. So how he's doing 30, I don't know. He must not sleep.
Right.
Like you.
A little bit. We're trying to bring you a little bit of post-race coverage, but the event's still not yet concluded. Alex Booth. We've seen a couple drivers come cruising through. I know one of the drivers that was a little upset was Devin Powell. He was a little frustrated with his day. I'm not really sure where things stand at this point for Devin in the number 3, but we're trying to. It's one of the stories that we're trying to keep our finger on the pulse on. Is somebody that you're fairly close with. What's the status right now for Devin?
You know what? I haven't got to talk to him, but I know he's got his stick. So I think they got everything figured out, and he's ready to go for tomorrow.
He was certainly battling uphill. Tons of cars had to move through inspection. Still, we see fresh cars coming out of the inspection tent, moving into impound from this evening. They're up to, at this point, they're up to about 13 hours straight of inspection so far for today, which is a remarkable task given the number of cars that they had to look at for a number of classes that we're going to be seeing running tomorrow. All the action, again, going to kick off tomorrow at 11 o'clock. The RC Derby taking place at 10:30 on the Cinder track.
I don't think a lot of people give credit to the inspectors at these shows. I mean, they're kind of criticized for everything, and he missed this, or he didn't see that, or they let something through on somebody's car. But, you know, think about that, 13, 14 hours in the blistering heat, and, you know, looking at hundreds of cars. I mean, you got to give them a little bit of credit.
Right. That was one of the things that we had talked about yesterday was, do you get into derby hypnosis, as it were? Likewise, when you're riding on a highway and you sort of just kind of zone out and you don't even realize what you're passing and you miss your exit, or you get on a 30-mile-an-hour piece of highway and you catch yourself going 65. Do you run into the same thing inspecting cars after that long? When you're looking at elaborate builds, it's got to be mentally exhausting.
Oh, yes. I mean, it has to be. Way these guys are building the cars nowadays, I mean, it's just insane. You got to have good inspectors. I mean, back in the day, it's just taking your couple buddies and, hey, you're going to be my inspector at my show. Now that's all over.
Yeah, those days have long since gone.
Yes.
Toby Hiley, Pete Hansen joining the list of inspectors.
Yeah.
Had a chance to catch up with... take it off? All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Perfect. Another one of the inspectors that's here on the grounds, not necessarily employed this weekend, but we're going to see him in a couple weeks at the Keystone Nationals, Jim Youngblood was here. Had a chance to talk with him for a little while earlier today in our afternoon show. Which was
very knowledgeable guy.
Yeah, real smart guy.
Yes.
I was hoping to bring Chris Quinzler over so that he could talk to you, but I don't think he's available at the moment.
I don't know what happened to him.
they've wandered off. Tragically so.
That happens a lot here at Bash.
Yes, absolutely so.
Easy to get sidetracked.
Saw Rick Clark bombing around a little bit earlier
Yep, I
today.
saw him.
Opted not to build a car this year. He's going to instead focus on the Reckless Warriors Tour, and he's going to try.
I was wondering if he was.
He's building a car for 2 weeks from today at the Kings of Old School. He'll be there, and then also it sounds like his plans are to make to the Keystone Nationals as well.
Wow, cool. I love seeing the Canadian guys come down. I mean, you don't hear many guys from the U.S. going to Canada, so it seems like the last couple years, so many more of the Canadians are coming down here and running with us, and I mean, it's just cool to go that far and make the trek down, and it's just awesome.
Jeffy from the Fab Farm was down here. We saw him a little bit earlier through the course of the day, Jeff Showman. It was neat to catch up with him for a little while, and we talked about Rick Clark, and then there was, and I'm blanking on the guy's name. He lives up near Cornwall.
Dustin Ingram?
Can't remember his name. But it's a guy that we've talked to a couple different times, just trading Facebook messages around. So the Canadian presence is prevalent here.
Yes, definitely.
Nate Middendorf heading out, calling it a night. Tony. Oh, yeah. You coming in? You coming? We're gonna
We just watched a Canadian in that last, or 2 heats ago, Brian McClung, maybe?
Yes, Brian.
Okay.
Yep. Brian and Ron McClung.
Racking my brain here.
Ron's pretty close with Rick Clark. Ron McClung.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
We actually set up right next to those guys at Mayhem, I think, 3 years ago. So we kind of got to know each other out there.
Oh, geez, how could we
guys,
miss?
Though.
How could we miss Dustin Ingram?
Yes, that's what I was.
Christy King watching at home. So, how about the performance of the Mopar? Lee Engstrom brought that down, hanging out. How well did that car do, huh?
Yeah, right off the line, he was into it. I mean, it was good.
Certainly turned some heads, and I think they were trying to squeeze something through a little bit. That's Matt Foss's car, and we saw him up at Winter Slam here back in February. Great builds. I mean, good driver, and that Mopar was singing as soon as they got the green flag out. Tony Brellinger joining us here at the table. Tony does a lot of editing work with Derby Inc. magazine and regular contributor. Going to have a feature coming up here, according to rumor, on how to remove dashes from W bodies and make it the easiest thing possible. So we're looking forward to seeing that someday.
Yeah.
And
I really appreciate having me on. You know?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, you had a chance to wander around the pits and good perspective on the compact contingent that's here. We talked a little bit about Reg Bono and some of the Canadians.
Right.
What did you see in terms of the compacts today? What did you learn?
I spent a lot of time working on my buddy's 80s mod car that was not finished when we left the house.
Right.
So I'd been working on that all day, and really the only compact I've looked at is Reg Bono's. And he had something on his car that really sparked my imagination. What he had
what was it?
I don't know if I want to share it. From what I saw,
I'm not even a compact guy, and he's got me wondering.
He called it an engine protector, and it really wasn't really extravagant, but the way it was designed, it's gonna work. I don't see it failing. The way that he has it designed, from what I've seen, how W bodies fold, it's really good.
And he's no slouch of a builder either.
No.
Yeah, I've been staring
a long time.
I've been staring at W bodies for too long.
How good is that compact heat going to be, given the size of the track and the plans to put 50 cars out there at one time?
Don't get sideways, you won't get lit up. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of room out there to go from one end to the other. And those compacts, they get moving, so...
How long is it going to last?
Oh, that depends on the drivers. You know, I think they're going to turn it up, you know. And I see it lasting a little while. You'll get some action out of it, that's for sure.
I don't disagree with that. The wire class right now, the prevailing rumor around the pits is the best thing that you're going to have the opportunity to see tomorrow is the wire class feature, where with Joker donating the car and $1,000 to Mad Dog, $1,000 to win that wire class.
It's going to be good.
Was it tempting to put a car together just so that you could bring something home?
Yeah, especially once I heard Joker was giving that car away. I mean, come on. how do you win a Mad Dog? You know, you win a brand new car or a 76 Impala.
Yeah.
76 Impala.
Mid-70s GM anyway.
That's news to me. He's giving a car away?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mad Dog is going to take home $1,000, and the Mad Dog winner is going to take home $1,000 and a new car.
What class is this, and
Wire
is
class.
he doing it next year?
Wire class and wire class, and only if you don't drive.
I might have to take that offer up next year.
Right.
We'll look into that.
He's
giving cars away.
Pretty good incentive, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing everyone's going to be on the skinny pedal. I mean, I would be.
And this is a South Carolina car, not a coastal Carolina car.
This is for wire class, full size?
This is wire class.
I'm going to have to pass that news on to my buddy Austin Collins because he's got a wire class Malibu that he's running, and I think he wants to destroy it. If I pass that news on, he might lay into it a little more.
Right.
And he was going to.
It's going to be a coveted honor, no question.
That's the car I'd take, 70s Malibu. I love them.
Really?
Oh, man, I've ran so many. 10 years ago, it was my car of choice before I went to 80s.
For the stock class?
Oh, all day long.
I could be wrong on the year on it, but it's a wagon. 70s Malibu wagon? Does that sound right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what he has.
Back from Vegas a couple years ago, yeah. They're awesome. Very tough cars.
I've seen pictures of it, of him building it. So
I mean, really, if you can leaf spring them, they're really tough on the back. But
well, he didn't leaf spring it. He's taking out in wire class.
Yeah. They fold nice no matter what you do to them. That's the thing. I mean, you can just bust the windows out and go run them, and they fold nice. I mean, the sedans especially, but even the wagons fold nice.
Right.
I've heard a couple people talk a lot about their a strong desire to convert one of those Malibu wagons to a leaf sprung car.
Yes, they're hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something that you've done?
Yeah. Yep. We ran our local show. 2002, 2003. I took a second with one, Crawford County. And yeah, once you leaf spring the backs, they're so tough.
Does that have to do with the length of the vehicle?
Somewhat. I mean, you know, I said for years my buddies were spending all the big money on the Impalas and Caprices, and I was buying every Malibu I could find. Nobody wanted them. But, you know, you take an 8-foot piece of metal and a 6-foot piece of metal, it's harder to bend a 6-foot piece of metal. So the smaller car, you know, and the mobility too. You know, if you're a good driver, you can get out there in a smaller car and move around better. So
I've come across that a lot with the front wheel drives.
Professor DeFriscia has spoken.
Yes.
I love Malibus. What can I say?
Steve Bucknam.
Just need to go to bed at some point.
Yes. Hey, that's Pat Osmond, the one and only. What's going on?
These things are
Mr. Osmond.
They're actually so boring.
We're live, so you know.
I don't care.
I know you don't. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm honestly, I'm so old. I these things, I could care less about them.
You want to do me a favor? This camera here got knocked. Can you help spin that a little bit so we can see Mike and everybody? Just pick it up right by the neck and turn the whole thing. Right by the neck and pick the whole tripod up and turn it. There you go. Yep. Okay. Well, that now move it some this way, just a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, good. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate the help. I'll find you a little bit later on.
Man, I've just been Hank's daughter.
Okay, so Pat Osmond.
Wow.
Pat Osmond just drew the.
He's putting it out there.
Can I pass as a youth car? I'll shave the beard tonight. I'll shave it tonight.
Pat's.
Kentucky in October.
Everyone giving cars away.
I ain't giving them away. She got to earn it.
So Pat Osmond from up at he's a regular. He won the stock division at the Lake Erie Rumble last September, which is at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds in Dunkirk, New York. Close friend of his, Hank Pensek's daughter, is running tonight. What?
That's my goddaughter.
Goddaughter. Okay, so his goddaughter is running in the compacts tonight, or excuse me, rather tomorrow, in the youth division. And in the event that she goes out and places that car in the top 3, he is giving her a rust-free Crown Vic with a braced rear end with 480 gears.
488 gears.
488 gears. Okay.
Wow.
It'd be a lot easier to explain this if Pat would sit down, but he's camera shy, so that kind of thing happens.
Camera shy. You can't stop swearing.
I don't think I could pass as a girl, so shaving the beard wouldn't help.
But I mean, can you believe? You know, just here it is. Here it is. Here's the keys. Go have
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty cool, though. I'll tell you. She's young. 16. Yeah, that's awesome. I love guys that help promote the younger generation.
They just sat down a few about maybe an hour and a half ago. They sat down and built his roof sign and her roof sign. They're getting matching roof signs.
Awesome.
Yep. That was fun. And he grabbed. I delivered his God gave us the bird shirt today.
Oh,
and he was excited. He was ecstatic. He put it on right as soon as he put it on. As soon as he got it in his hands. So that was kind of cool. What?
Just sit down. Here, just right here.
Just sit.
Just sit down. Yeah,
sit down for a minute.
Scoot over.
You guys are like the most hardcore people I've ever met.
What do you mean? Pat Osmond is in the process of rearranging our desk. Can you do me a favor? Do me a favor and pull that back so we can see everybody?
You look like you ain't slept in like.
I haven't slept in about 3 days. Just kind of pull that back a little bit for us so we can get everybody in the table. There we go.
What you did for us with
Perfect.
the shirt.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's kind of like on a download.
Excuse me.
Still,
Do me a second here and just slide that this way a bit. Just
you look like you've been on the go for
just a touch more. There you go.
You've been
Perfect.
going nonstop.
Excellent.
We're just down here to have fun.
I know you guys are. I've been over here working on roof signs and doing shirt orders and stuff like that.
All I'm doing is buying bling for my King's Old School car. That's gonna get his ass handed to it. In
That's
no time
promising.
anyway,
It's which may happen.
No, don't call me to win that.
Yeah, I got bets on you to win that up there June 6th.
Yeah, don't call me out on that.
Tony, you coming June 6th?
I'm sorry.
Kings of Old School, Whitney Point, New York.
No, I'm gonna be with a welding hood, working on a metal man
When I went to Brookville,
the Team Compacts.
there were a couple Cordovas there, and them cars, they didn't hold up. I was like, uh-oh. I think we're taking knives to gunfight. Everybody says King's Old School is going to be a Mopar show. After watching that, I think I made a wrong choice. There's no turning back now,
that brings us to a good point. So what do you think was done to the front of that Impala for it not to move, Mike? You're on the receiving end of a lot of those blows.
He pleads a fifth. He's getting smart. I'm not saying a word. I was flat out honest. I'm like, if you run an Impala with no distributor protector, stock body mount, stock everything, it should bend at the firewall before in front of the control lines. Am I wrong?
Mike DeFriescher rebuttal.
Plead the fifth?
I still plead the fifth.
That's what you need to do.
From what I've seen from the stands, that's what's gonna happen.
Hey, he took second, but he's still in the points for a reason.
Yeah, well, he's first in points.
What Bo does, I think, people are going to hate me after this, but I don't care.
I know, you are getting famous by the minute.
I don't care, but what Bo's doing is 100% right.
Yeah.
I met Bo probably 4 or 5 years ago, and somebody that is, there's a lot of promoters out there that are really cool. They make you happy, but somebody that's 100% to make the driver, you ain't going to find a promoter better than that. I'm sorry, you ain't going to find it better anywhere. Bo is probably one of the best promoters I've ever run into.
We talked with our man. Here we go.
The show you're talking about, that's the one in Pennsylvania, right?
Oh boy, things are deteriorating for some of our viewers at home. Who are enjoying. Todd Sayopa, thanks for the note. We're gonna leave it at that. So back to what we were talking about.
I don't care. Like I said, hey, if they got it.
No, not with you. Not with you. No. You're fine. Todd.
Like if you take it in and if anybody wants to disagree, I don't care. I don't care. But if you take it in
Tony,
and stock, it should bend at the firewall before we'll ever bend in front of the controller. And that's the God's honest truth. Call me a liar.
So I delivered the Chad Elman Memorial shirts. Those were all finished up. We got those dropped off to Pat Osmond and the Elman family up in Silver Creek this week. Had a great trip up to Silver Creek. It was one of the greatest trips to Silver Creek I've ever had. If I ever had another one, I'd have something to compare it to. But right now, it'll just go down the record book as the best. By the way, get a little bit better given directions. But I did find Al McNeil's place, so that was cool. Got to see that Cadillac.
I said get off. It's right there when you get off the interstate.
Yeah, I'm talking to Tony though. I'm talking to Tony right now.
He goes
I'm a really good listener.
7 miles an hour in a 45. You do. You drive like a man. You drive like a madman.
Hey, everything that I do is wide open.
I don't blame you.
So how come you haven't been in a car then?
Because I don't need to do that. You know, it's just
afraid you're gonna hurt yourself.
No, not at all.
If you do everything way to the floor.
We can chat about it. We'll get off the show and
Sure.
and we'll go over some of the details. Sure.
100%.
But I dropped those off, and Al McNeil met Pat and I for dinner at Primo's, and Pat got on this topic of Kings of Old School, and discussing what exactly he can and can't do to the car, and lamenting some of the situations. And after I was pointed at for roughly 45 minutes, I lost count at 1,260. And he was just I didn't have to say a word. I literally just sat there and listened for 45 minutes, and then after he was done, he did the Pat Osmond move where he puts his hand down, looks around the room, just waiting to see who's eavesdropping. I told him I don't make the rules there, and he threw his hands up and overturned the table, and then we were asked to leave.
It wasn't quite that bad.
Tell me you didn't do the move though. When you put your hand down and roll your eyes and look around.
I 100% did. I 100% did do the move. But in the same sense, I did buy dinner.
You did. That was very kind of you.
I did buy dinner, and I'm like, if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong.
I just want to qualify so everybody understands who we've got. We've got Tony, we've got Mike, and we've got the incomparable Pat Osmond.
Did you say Pat Osmond?
Pat Osmond. Pat's going to come up and help with commentary after his knife that he brings to the gunfight. Next he's going to come up and help me with commentary.
How hard it is to try and watch my language right now.
It doesn't matter, dude. This is internet, man. You can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want.
All I have to say is, like, right now, these 80s cars, Wayne Boardman is, like, from our area. He runs down in Kentucky, Tennessee.
Loose cannon.
No. But Wayne does an awesome job. His boy's with him. Wayne runs these cars. His kid loves. The first couple of heats were so bad. I'm like, so now right now I've got the kid right now convinced, like, Dad, you need to find me an Imperial.
Yes.
It's awesome. I am an old iron person. I'm old school. I'm like, if like I said, honestly, I have conservative protector. I've got lower. If you don't want, I'll leave it at home. Let's run old school. I'll gladly freaking slice and cut with my chop saw and weld a dry shaft together. Leave all that shit at home. I don't care. Because this stuff is out of control. No, this is out of control. It's getting out of control. Like, I could walk through here because I think it's cool as hell, but I gotta spend 30 grand here. I will never do it.
Some pretty serious metal here. But I mean, that's the thing about Bash for Cash. Tomorrow, there's going to be something for everyone. If you like wire class cars, they're there. If you like trucks, they're there. If you like compacts, they're there. Today, if you like lawnmowers, you had a ton of them out there. There is something for everybody at this show, hands down.
Everybody that was at Raleigh's party heard how I felt about compacts.
Yes.
Put it this way, I'd rather watch the compacts than that right now. That's how bad.
Oh, what's wrong with the compact?
Here we go.
No, don't. Here we go. That's a whole other hour conversation. Hey, let's not even get started on
We got time.
I'll tell you right now, we're turning the wheels in the compacts. We're making stuff happen.
Where? I'm just asking where. Because
you weren't at Metal Mayhem last year, were you?
No. No.
All right, there's 30 cars in the future.
That's not allowed out of the state, but
11 minutes, it was done.
That's cool. That's actually really cool.
What about Blizzard Bash with Randy Maslowski?
In Blizzard Bash, I was knocked out cold, and I don't remember any of it, so I don't know.
If that's the case, that's awesome. Because when you go to county fair compact shows and stuff that you run into, it's 40 minutes of... You're
watching the wrong compact shows.
My comment I made that got me in trouble, the guy told me, remember when I go, no, I actually don't remember when you did that in a compact car. Because when compacts come out, that's generally I take my kids, we go win goldfish, we go out and get the cotton candy. And dude, I really touched a nerve, but
you know what? I can agree with you 100%.
I respect what they do because there is.
I can agree with you 100% because I've watched the same thing in full size in my hometown, and around my local shows, they do the same thing that what you're talking about with compacts. The full size go out there and they tap for.
Brian Schumann, King. Yep. All right, Brian Schumann used to run all his shows. He ran it was a team compact derby. I went down there. I took a pickup truck down there and watched it. That was the craziest heat I've ever seen in my life because they were full tilt 100% with compacts, and it was awesome. I mean, it was the cool. But then you go watch it when it's like, are you kidding me? It's like, then it gets. I can't take it.
I will say I'm not a compact guy by no means either, but I was at Metal Mayhem last year, and that shit was awesome.
And it's going to happen again this year. It will be. I guarantee you.
It was awesome.
If it has to if it has to be me being on the gas pedal, I guarantee you it'll be just as much action this year. It will be. I can tell you right now, there's some talk, there is some heat between some teams. I'll guarantee you that right now. I'm not going to name any names. They might be on my team, and they might have it out for somebody, but there's going to be action this year. I guarantee it. There'll be just as much action in Metal Mayhem and the Team Compacts this year as there was last year, if not more, because they got 4 more teams than they did last year.
This is... I don't want to.
What happened? Go ahead.
No, I just don't want to switch channels on people and think I'm out of my mind and I'm going all over the place.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is there an advantage?
You are out of your mind.
Is there an advantage to putting a freaking Rochester carburetor on the top of the plenum of a 3.1?
You're asking the wrong guy, because I will say
stupid.
that is.
I honest to God think it's stupid.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this right now, because I'm gonna make a lot of guys angry if I say it's dumb. So I'm gonna plead the fifth.
All right.
What's your opinion on it though, without telling them? Just between us. I'll even shut the microphones off.
You need to study an electrical diagram and figure out how to fix the stuff, because I think fuel injected runs way better than a carburetor, because I've watched them get hit, because those engines, they're not designed for a carburetor. I personally think, I'm not an engine guy, I don't know how to build an engine, no. But with the way that the intake system is designed, with putting a carburetor on the top, I think it creates a, I don't know if it's like a turbulence in it. It's not, I tried it. I did. I got an intake at home. It's got a 2-barrel Holley adapter plate welded at the top of it. I spent 6 hours trying to get it run right. Couldn't get it idle. I had a Demon carb on it, 2-barrel, 500 CFM. I went from a 54 jet all the way up to a 96 jet. It would run its ass off if you put your gas into it, but it won't idle. It will not idle no matter what you do. Some guys, they might have figured out. Maybe it's a different carb that makes it run better. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. I was supposed to be at the Derby at 5 o'clock. At 12:30, I realized the carb wasn't going to work. It took me an hour to switch back to fuel injected, went back out there and ran the Derby.
Now, Mike, having run Brookville so many times, you've seen Ken Baker do some remarkable things. I mean, he's the resident king of the Jefferson County Fair in Brookville.
Yes. He runs fuel injection.
Yep.
He runs fuel injection.
Patrick Osman's right again.
I do pay attention.
I'm just messing with you.
I do, though.
I've had a couple of people message me asking, what have we done?
Yeah. Hey, at least I'm not swearing.
People are entertained, to say the least, I guess.
Well, that's good. That's what you're here for, right?
No, but it is. I mean, like PA Dave's pretty good with compacts. I mean, the boys like from Cattaraugus County, the Boneyard crew. They're when I'm walking through, and I'm not going to give them the satisfaction.
That's Dave King and all those guys, right?
Whatever. I'm walking through, and I see him. I go, Dave. I go, do you think there's an advantage to doing that? He goes, honestly, in my opinion, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And
what was that?
So he says
carbureting it.
Fuel injected engine.
Them guys in our area are the best. They're the best. They went to Ohio, and they honestly. They caused a shitstorm. They went down there, and it was a team derby, and they finished first through 8. There were 8 of them, and they finished first through 8. Them guys from Ohio, they had from here. They were like, you get. No, it was a team derby. You know, they did what they had to do. They pissed a lot of people off. I'm like, how do you fault them? They came down with well-built cars. They ran forever, and in my opinion, they're some of the best there are at them cars. I don't like watching them,
right?
But when they are on the track, you watch.
What is it that makes you not like watching them? Is it the noise? You think it sounds like bees?
It's the dogging factor.
What do you mean by dogging factor? They don't run good, or
no? It's when it comes down to 4 cars, and it takes to go from 30 cars to 4 cars takes 10 minutes. To go from 4 cars to 2 cars, 1 car, whatever it takes to get into the feature, takes a half hour, 40. That's what drives me.
Is it because they're running together?
No, it's because them cars, they don't. I mean, they do. I mean, the guys where we're from, them compact, they don't stop running, and that's why that's how the whole carbureted thing. And Chris has seen it.
Yeah,
them cars literally
those
will
guys,
run.
They will not stop.
Run 40, 45 an hour.
Brian,
with the carburetor or without?
Without a
carburetor.
On
fuel injection.
They run them fuel injection.
They run.
That's why I asked him.
It's just about all W bodies for those guys too. I mean, if I'm thinking back, it's just about all W bodies for those guys.
Right. I can tell you the years real quick if you want to know.
Yeah.
I don't even like these cars.
Brian Gonzalez is one of them that's won the fair. The Chautauqua.
there's guys.
County Fair has been won by Brian Gonzalez.
Cut me off, fucker.
And Dave King's another one who's done a remarkable job with those. And you're right; those guys have gone out of town and done a pretty good job.
But you see, the thing is, them guys are they don't spend a ton of money. They don't do nothing. I've seen them guys run fuel injected Crown Vics. They'll leave a Crown Vic 302 with a fuel injected motor, everything, and they can kick your ass. They can drive.
Right. Well, I mean that's a big part of it too.
They make before they build the car, they make sure it runs like a badass. I mean,
right.
You can't fault that.
I don't know if the
County Fair last year, I watched a Power guys run fuel injected Fords.
That's at the Hamburg show where they have the Buffalo Stampede show.
Yes, and I could not believe how many Ford Crown Vics were there. Bone stock, fuel injected motors. You know,
yours was bone stock a couple weeks ago, right?
What?
Your car was bone stock a couple weeks ago, right?
No, that's super stock.
Super stock with a.
There's a difference.
Hey, a super stock with a red line.
As far as the fuel injected goes, I'll quote Reg Bono. I asked him fuel injected or carb. He goes, Fuelie all the way.
Yeah.
He said,
I'm more than happy to get back into this conversation. I know Chris Quenzler and Davey Chapman are both looking to get jump in here. Don't go far. We'll bring you back on.
Oh, sure.
Here we go. If you want to. Where'd he go? What the heck?
Is this still the same 80s seat out there?
Sit here. You can sit in the middle.
Let's make a little room for Davey, and we'll bring you back.
Oh, the 70s cars were wicked all night.
I don't know. He's kind of heavy like me.
Hey, we can continue this compact debate over here.
We can, yeah, the compacts. Oh, here we go. What is going on over here? This is bordering on out of control. Davey Chapman joining us here with Chris Quenzler. Saw you guys run a number of different times last year. We saw you guys at New Alex. We saw you at Brookville at the Keystone Nationals. Chris, you had a great run over there at the Keystone Nationals, coming up with a podium finish. Second only to Pete Hansen. Davey, you didn't have the best luck here a couple weeks ago with your Cordoba, but you at least be able to get a couple fun stories to share with all your friends. I heard you tell the story, unfortunately, multiple times, having to relive that. Looking to seek some redemption in a couple weeks at the Keystone Nationals.
Yeah.
But here we are right now at the Bash for Cash, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. What do you guys think so far? You guys were chomping at the bit to get in here when those guys were going off. I know you guys have something to weigh in on what Pat and Tony and Mike were talking about a few minutes ago.
Well, he was just talking about the team show and stuff, and I don't know, I didn't really watch the team show on the compacts as much, but like with the full-size cars, them guys were just on the pedal all the time, like at Carrollton and stuff. And if you watch like the Blizzard Bash, stuff like that, everybody's just on the skinny pedal constantly in a team show.
I mean, that indoor show, you mentioned Blizzard Bash. The indoor show brings a very different atmosphere to the sport of demolition derby, and it seems like they do tend to drive harder when they bring the shows indoors.
Yeah, definitely. We made the trip down to Sturgis this past February, and that was a pretty intense indoor show. First one we've ever been to, and actually got lucky enough to win the raffle car, and that was pretty intense, but it was definitely totally different atmosphere than any outdoor show I've ever been to. It was totally different, but it was really, really fun.
Yeah. It makes junk in a hurry. No question about that.
Yes.
And it certainly does engage the crowd quite a bit as well. You mentioned the raffle car. Have you bought your tickets for the raffle car yet?
No, I'm probably going to buy them tomorrow.
I
just feel that you get a little bit better chance when they're on top as opposed to the bottom.
We'll probably wait till tomorrow. We got about 10 or 12 guys from PA with us, and we'll probably all buy them tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably buy a couple $100 worth tomorrow and
I saw,
take my chances, you know what I mean?
You're hanging out with Brian Bowman.
Yes.
I noticed him.
Excuse
me, Bauman. Yes.
It's just one of those things.
I know.
I didn't know his name for years.
I've messed up his name pretty much every time I've said it. He's corrected me a bunch of times too.
It's actually Bauman.
Yeah.
Bauman.
Got
That's
it.
his name, yeah.
Got it, Chris Quenzler.
Yes. You got my name correct, actually. Yeah. So, but, yeah, definitely. Compact car.
Yep. Indeed, so it is. But you guys seem to be having a pretty good time.
Definitely.
Oh, it's a great time here every year. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's the first time I haven't brought a car here, and I don't know, I just feel out of place from not bringing a car.
Right. Did you? Do you have the means of taking home the raffle car in the event that you win it?
Absolutely.
We'll find a way.
Means. We brought.
Strap it to the roof of the trailer.
Well, we got 2 Polaris RZRs side by sides. We'll put them on the roof if we have to get it home. We'll make do.
Now, in the event that you do win that, we'll start with David first. In the event you do win that raffle car, is there going to be anything left to bring home other than just the bolt-on parts?
As long as it doesn't fall apart, probably not.
That's exactly.
I
what
run
I'm saying.
stuff until it doesn't move anymore.
We did see that.
My own stuff, I run it until it doesn't move anymore. I don't care about a motor or a tranny or a rear end. If it's moving, I'm not shutting it off. I will not shut a car off for anything.
Tyler Smay, quick to get judged from a couple weeks ago.
I heard about that.
For going after
Tyler.
you, but Tyler, it's a demolition derby, man. He's got to hit somebody in
I
your
have
car.
I don't know, bad feelings on anyone for hitting me on a derby. I'm the same guy. If I win the derby or if I lose the derby, I'll come off the track. I'll shake anybody's hand. I'm that type of driver. I have the same outlook on stuff if I win or if I lose.
Sure.
I have good qualities on everything like that. I've won, I've lost. You know what I mean? I have a whole trophy room full of trophies to show that I've won, but I've lost just as many derbies, if not more, that I've won.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
The situation was that Tyler, with his Thunderbird at the Superstock show here a couple weeks back, hit your Cordoba. He was pounding away on the back end, and then there ended up in just the sweet spot shot, if you will, and it sent the nose, and it dumped pretty bad at the firewall.
Just hit, and on that Cordoba, it has like a tongue and groove type frame section that it just separated there is what happened. I had everything hard in the front, and it just bent at the firewall. I guess it happens. I'll never run another Chrysler ever again. If it's not a full frame, I won't run it.
That's words to live by now, with the sounds of things.
Yeah. I guarantee it wouldn't have happened to one of my Fords. You know what I mean? I built a good Ford, and that's what I enjoy running. It's just one of those things with the rules. I thought a Chrysler was a car to go with. I learned that it wasn't, and now I'm several points behind, you know what I mean, in the point series.
Yes, which you've committed to full time.
Yeah, I'm running the point series, and now I got to play catch up. So,
just to revisit the conversation that we were involved with there a few minutes ago with Tony and talking about the fuel injection versus carburation up in Canada. Christy King weighing in and talking about the compact fuel injection program is huge. Cavaliers, the Camrys, and the Caprices, they run forever. You know, they just run and run and run and run. And getting some word now back from the track as this final heat has now concluded. Dustin Ingram, who we talked about as being one of the favorites, has qualified for the feature. He is in the big dance for the 80s class. So that could prove to be a bad omen for some of those guys with a hot streak that Dustin Ingram has been on, having won at Spring Explosion and coming away here just a few weeks ago, a few months ago, I guess we should stay with that win over Hot Springs, Arkansas. That catapulted him into some pretty serious limelight at this point. So there's going to be, if you will, there's going to be some targets on the number 4 coming up tomorrow, probably somewhere around 11 p.m. when they finally get that feature started.
Almost definitely. Them Canadian guys are definitely stepping up the game and moving into the U.S. and taking over, it seems like, the past few months especially. But them guys definitely build top-notch cars with top-notch parts and are very good drivers, so they're definitely hard to beat.
Reg, excuse me. Shoot, I had a note on that. Let me dig that back up here.
Yeah, I had Rick Clark in my heat.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago at Brookville, and I mean, he builds a great car. I've ran against him here. I've ran against him other places. And at Brookville, it was just one of those things that you knew he was out there. He was a contender. I mean, you had to watch for him. I mean, he hit me. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to back down to you.
Right.
And we beat on each other for a while and stuff. And when it was over, he come over, he shook my hand. He said, hey, did a great job. You know what I mean? And if he has respect for me, I have respect for him. You know what I mean? On that type of thing.
Well, I think that's a two-way street, and regardless of what level you're at. We were talking about the Canadian drivers, Cousineau, Bobby Cousineau.
Yeah.
Did not
a very good
qualify
driver.
yet. Did not qualify yet.
Oh,
He's got some work to do ahead of him. Your friends are rowdy.
Yes, this a little bit.
That blur of a razor that just streaked behind us.
That would be Brian Bauman.
Bauman.
Yes.
Make no mistake on the pronunciation. Brian Bauman.
Correct.
By the way, tomorrow I'm going to mess that up again, just so you know. Just put it on record. It's going to be Brian Bowman again by the time we get to tomorrow.
Bowman, yep.
It doesn't matter anyway. He's retired and sold everything.
He'll be back.
For temporarily, he's building a streetcar for his wedding, and then he's already talked quite a bit about building at least a stock style car for the Keystone Nationals.
Stock style car, which is the super stock
Super
rules.
stock, exactly.
Which was...
You can keep that super stock. I'm not a big fan of it. Give me a pro car.
There's Brian Bauman.
There he is.
Loitering about.
What's up, people?
It's
Bash for Cash, kicking ass this year.
proud day for you and your family.
Monopart Enterprise.
Little centers are us.
Little centers are us.
Sometimes I feel like I don't have control of this at all.
That's okay. No, it's definitely a great time here. If you definitely have the chance to make the trip to Washington Courthouse, it's definitely
see some of the best drivers and best equipment out there.
There is no soft car here. There's no soft landing to be found.
Not a single one. You can
My
walk.
cars I've brought here in the past, the last 3 years I brought here, I had a minimum between $11,000 and $15,000 in every car I've brought here.
Yep, definitely. And you can. I've never ran here, but you can walk from the front of the line to the back of the line in every heat of the turn back the claw class or the smash it class, and any car in that line virtually could win or make it to the main.
Yeah.
There's no slouch here, and it takes a group of people and very good building skills and driving skills to make it through a heat and to get to the end of the feature. So anybody that made
you need a pit crew that is unreal.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I mean, the officials or the inspectors, they'll work with you to some extent. Hey, you got to fix this, you got to fix that. Did they try to keep people to stay here and run? Absolutely. But if they have to load a car, they will load a car.
Yeah, they're not afraid to. They have more than enough cars here. Right. They have disposable cars. You know what I mean?
Wait till tomorrow. Yeah. Wait till you look at the cars here tomorrow. But the guys that are here are top notch. And if you make the main at the Bash any year, you are one hell of a builder and very good driver, because it takes a special person to be able to make it to that main at them 25 cars.
Oh yeah.
And but you can't knock down the party crowd. You got a handful of people here that definitely like to have fun, and that's what it's all about. Everybody's here for a good holiday
Everybody's
weekend.
here and they have a good time.
Get along.
You don't usually hear of fights and people
never.
stealing stuff, and it's great as opposed to other shows you've heard of guys stealing stuff out of people's camps and off of their trucks and trailers and stuff like that.
Most definitely. It's a lot of fun to bring Ohio and PA and Indiana, Canada all together and just
New York,
New York, Maryland, and Kentucky, and the Carolina Cadillac Heaven guys, and it's just fun to get to talk to people you haven't seen in maybe a year or so, and just get along, have a drink or two, and just it's nice to sit back and relax for a change and actually be in a relaxed atmosphere.
I don't think you understand what a landmark event that you're actually taking part in right now here at Bash for Cash, Chris.
Probably not.
I mean, this is your third appearance on the show. You've been on the phone a couple times, and finally everybody gets to see your adorable face. But for the first time ever, in how many attempts, we've got Davey Chapman joining us.
I know. I've been telling him all night to get
this
on.
honor. I can't even begin to put into words.
I've been with Davey all night, and I said, just go on and just be yourself. I said, what's the big deal? It's just talking like a bunch of friends. I said, it's not that big a deal.
There's only a couple thousand people watching you right now.
Huh?
I said there's only a couple thousand people watching you right now. It's no big deal, right?
It's just one of those things.
Maybe get
Davey is so quiet.
I try to just stay back, man.
All he does.
I
Quiet,
go out, I do what I like to do. If anybody needs something, I'm fine with that. But
right.
I don't try to be out in the spotlight on stuff. You know what I mean? I've signed autographs for kids and stuff like that, but that's not. I try to be myself. You know what I mean? Anybody needs something, they're more than welcome to it. But
did Davey ever tell you the story where he was signing autographs for a bunch of kids and Brian Baum was standing there waiting to talk to him and he accidentally signed one for Brian?
Yeah.
I believe it because he's under that height limit. But you know, I don't really remember ever seeing a line very long for Davey Chapman's autograph. That's all I'm saying. No,
actually, I got to put one out there for my little buddy Preston Henshaw.
Preston Henshaw, got to give it out.
Yeah,
that kid, he's an awesome little dude. No, Davey's a fun guy. We enjoy coming out here every year and hanging out, enjoying a few adult beverages, and just relaxing. It's nice that he's not running this year. So we, all of us from PA, didn't make a trip to run this year. So it's pretty neat to come out and just hang out with everybody. You know, shoot the shit and just enjoy company, stories. You know, just hang out and relax. It's nice to finally. When you're not running this kind of show, it's nice to just sit back and watch and just enjoy everybody's company. It's nice to get around, you know, around the campfire and tell some stories. So it's definitely a nice change of pace and actually being out there running, and you know, it's a fun time. There's like 10 or 12 of us at least, my close friends, my brother and Bauman, and you know, we make the trip every year just to have a good time. It's nice, and it's a nice change of pace. Just to not have to be working on a car and, you know, sweating and blood, sweat, tears all day long to get a car ready and run, and fix it. And it's just nice to relax for a weekend. So it is nice.
It was a. You know, on Vendors Row, it was definitely a relaxed atmosphere. I mean, there was a lot of people that were just enjoying the company, and I can't remember who said it earlier today, but alluded to Bash for Cash sort of being the Demolition Derby family reunion, where you get the chance to get together and you see guys that you might only see them once a year.
Right,
and
exactly.
You know, you get a chance to hang out with them and talk for a while, and you know, it's pretty cool.
I exactly know exactly what you mean. Actually, Moonshine, who running the Turn Back the Clock class, he actually grew up on the street down the road from me. Known each other our whole lives, but haven't seen each other in probably 10 years until the North Carolina crew from Cadillac Heaven came up here and made the trip, and his mother and my mother are like best friends. So it's kind of neat to actually see each other after probably 10, 15 years, and it's just nice to get, like I said, I only see Davey 2-3 times a year. Same with some of these other guys, and it's nice to kick back, relax, enjoy some stories, and you know, just enjoy watching some other people have to work their ass off for a change.
For sure.
Yep, absolutely. But what we might do here real quick is we do have to play through a couple ads briefly. So what we might do is take a quick break with that. We'll come back and wrap things up because we're just about to the top of our hour of allotted time. So take a look at this. We'll be right back with you.
Are you good enough to be recognized as a reckless warrior? Bo Lockwood Motorsports 2015 Demolition Derby schedule will now be combined into the Reckless Warrior Tour, designed to give rewards and recognition to drivers that support Bo Lockwood Motorsports. The schedule starts at the 5,000 to win Superstock Championships May 9th at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Brookville, Pennsylvania. The tour then goes to the Keystone Nationals, which is moved to the Westmoreland County Fairgrounds June 27th. The Jefferson County Fair Championships follows, with the limited road cars back in the limelight as they chase a $3,000 payday in Brookville, with the Reckoning 2 following on August 1st at the Clarion County Fairgrounds in Clarion, Pennsylvania. The series finishes with the final encounter September 4th and 5th at the Stoneborough County Fair. In all, there is more than $75,000 in prize money available among the 6 shows and features some of the largest purses in the Keystone State. Drivers will earn points based on their feature appearances and heat and feature finishes, with bonuses awarded for passing inspection and getting a stick on the first try. The season will end with a points banquet where Bo Lockwood Motorsports will crown the deadliest warrior. That driver will then have his selection of one of the 10 prizes from the Reckless Warrior partners. For more details on the 2015 Reckless Warriors Tour, visit their Facebook page and check out dlmotorsports.net. The Crash Course would like to thank DerbyParts.com, an industry leader in aftermarket parts. DerbyParts.com has become the go-to source for builders looking to make one stop for all their derby needs. A proud partner of the Reckless Warrior Series and a title sponsor at the Bash for Cash, DerbyParts.com offers products from the top manufacturers in the industry, including fellow Reckless Warriors partners Brian Muir and Big Rock Derby Products, and performance aftermarket standouts MSD, Edelbrock, Schonfeld, and Samson Tires. Inventory includes cradles, ultra-bell sliders, flex plates, pedal kits, mounts, fans, radiators, adapters, tanks, and much, much more. DerbyParts.com truly offers one-stop shopping for builders ready to perform at any level. Go online and check them out from bumper to bumper. You can find it on DerbyParts.com.
Travel back to the good old days of Demolition Derby at the 2015 Kings of Old School, June 6th at the Broome County Fairgrounds in Whitney Point, New York. The card includes a 2,000 to win Old School class, a 1,000 to win 80s New York Kicker class. The compacts and junk run are also on the schedule. Inspection opens at 8 a.m. Derby action begins at 2. Call Brett Relier at 607-327-2705 or Josh Decker at 607-725-2194 for additional details. For rules questions, call Mark Benjamin at 607-215-2149. That's the Kings of Old School, June 6th, Broome County Fairgrounds, Whitney Point, New York.
Demo Derby Masters offers a wide array of stock derby parts and accessories that have all been derby tested. Demo Derby Masters also offers custom fabrication, meaning your homespun garage idea can become a finely produced reality. Their team of engineers and Demo Derby drivers have designed, manufactured, and derby tested all parts to ensure quality and durability, even though they're in pristine condition. DemoDerbyMasters.com also carries a full line of helmets, fire suits, gloves, and belts, and Kaiser's own branded oils and fluids. Parts are manufactured, housed, and shipped out of their 140,000 square foot facility located in Coopersville, Michigan. Order online at DemoDerbyMasters.com or contact them by phone at 800-472-2464 or email info@DemoDerbyMasters.com.
There's an Imperial.
And we're back and just coming to wrap up the evening update from qualifying Saturday here at the Bash for Cash. Guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with us for a while. We had the fortune of talking with Mike DeFrieschi, Tony Brellinger, Pat Osmond a little bit earlier. Now we've got Chris Quinzler and David Chapman here wrapping everything up. Last old school turn back the clock class heat on the track right now. Before we wrap up, do you guys have any picks for tomorrow? 80s class, turn back the clock class. Just focus on those two.
I would have to say in the 80s class, I like Logan Duvall out there for the 80s
Second time
class.
we've heard that. How about turn back the clock?
Turn back the clock. I would have to say either like Paul Petro, Randy Hiley, or
don't forget Brad Petro.
Randy, yeah.
Maybe Roger Hickman.
Roger Hickman.
Can't count out the Braun boys.
Oh, I forgot about the Brauns.
I don't think we've seen past the second heat of either class because we've been back here the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't really got a chance to look at the cars, but you definitely can't count out Petro and Braun boys in the 70s class.
Right. How about the 80s?
The 80s class, it's wide open.
It is, isn't it?
Anything from
you got Ingram too. Yeah.
Ingram's and Tony Jenkins.
Oh, I forgot about Tony and Zach Campbell.
Oh.
I don't know if those guys won their heat or not because I haven't been out there.
And Hickman, I mean,
I'd love to see either Tony Jenkins or Zach Campbell win this.
I like Tony.
Tony deserves it 100%.
He's been there a few times, and he's a hell of a guy.
I've worked with Tony a ton of times. Same with Zach. Yep. I've worked with them guys numerous times, and we've cleaned up stuff and come to the end and just something stupid. Zach was at Brookville a few years back, and he split his fuel cell. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just one of those things that just happens.
Definitely, he's got a good car. it's going to be wide open, I think, for the 80s class. There's so many good cars that are built top notch from top to bottom that it's going to be a matter of who has the luck. There's Mike Ray, Compact King.
Listen, Singles ain't got shit on me.
I didn't even know compacts were actually a real sport.
That's tomorrow. That's the filler heats.
Wow.
No, it's okay. But seriously, the 80s cars are top notch. Anybody could take it, but like you said, Logan Duvall.
I would like to see Randy Hiley win it.
Randy's definitely due. He's been in the top 5 for the past 3
Well, Randy's won the turn back the clock before. It comes down to him and Toby, and he beat Toby, and I'd love to see Randy win it.
That was in like 2010.
Yeah. But that was before they went to this format that they're together.
But I mean, there are so many people that are due for this win, and it's just the cars are unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the driving is unbelievable. It's going to come down to luck. That's all it is. It's going to come down to luck. Who doesn't break first? That's all.
But you also have the other issue that people don't like to talk about is the click. Yeah, I mean, who's working together, and
there's always the click.
It helps. Yeah, I mean, it happens.
But I think the 80s class is really a toss-up. I really do. I think you got at least 10 potential guys that could walk away with it.
You also have Shane Jones out there too.
Yes.
The list keeps going.
Yeah,
qualifying, qualifying wrapping up in the background. Consolation rounds set to kick off. They're going to lead off the card tomorrow morning. Action set to begin at 11 o'clock on the cinder track adjacent to the main pit where all the Derby action begins.
See you later. See ya. Come on, I'm trying to wrap up a show. I'm trying to get my boys some turkey.
So anyway, lost my train of thought. Consolation action ready to kick off at 11 o'clock. The RC Derby set to happen on the cinder track in front of the grandstands between the main pit and the covered grandstands.
That should actually be pretty neat.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That rolls off at 10:30. So, on behalf of everybody that came and hung out with us tonight, appreciate everybody tuning in and checking it out. Hopefully, we brought you a little bit of insight of what's going on. Got you some picks, conversations to some of the guys that you were wondering what they were up to, and we'll be back here again tomorrow morning. So, look forward to catching up with everybody then, and we will see you all there. Right here as we move through the completion of the 2015 Bash for Cash Championship Sunday on deck. Action starts at 11. See you then.
The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com, the 2015 Bash for Cash and Smash It Demolition Derbies, Full Lockwood Motorsports, and the 2015 Keystone National. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Demo Derby Master. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast.